is how some young people spent their Easter holidays, playing basketball. Teams from all over the North Island have come to Napier for matches, and the competition is pretty intense. Here Wellington and Hawke's Bay teams are playing it out. A near miss. This game is technically described as American indoor basketball, although here, of course, it's being played outdoors by New Zealanders. After 45 minutes of clean, hard play, Wellington beats Hawke's Bay 9 points to 4. Two men's teams from Palmerston North and Hawke's Bay are tossing the ball round now. The more you see of basketball, the more you realize that it's a game where you really have to be as fit as a fiddle. If you're thinking of taking it on, you'd probably have to give up those cigarettes. Maybe a couple of other things, too. Palmerston has one of the best teams in the country, which isn't surprising, seeing they've been playing it there for nearly 40 years. So the end of the match sees them the winners by 30 points to 13.
With the death of the Honourable Daniel Giles Sullivan, the country has lost one of its best-known and popular cabinet ministers. And to the Church of St. Mary of the Angels, his colleagues and the public come to honour his memory. Tributes to the memory of Mr. Sullivan are personal as well as official. The state funeral sets out from the Parliament buildings. This is the last journey. For 28 years, Daniel Sullivan had been a member of Parliament. For the last 12, a cabinet minister. When he died, he was Minister of Industries and Commerce. He had also been wartime Minister of Supply, and on occasions, acting Prime Minister. All these duties of high office he had discharged with dignity and skill. Trade unionists pay their last respects to a great trade union member. At the age of 22, Dan Sullivan of the Furniture Trades Union began his work for his fellow workers. Now he is dead at 65, and a country mourns his going. In Christchurch, the final tributes are paid to Mr. Sullivan's memory. In Christchurch he was born. He had been one of its paper boys, and he had been one of its mayors. For 16 years he was one of its city councillors, and for nearly 30 years one of its members of Parliament. No man could serve a city more. As Christchurch people line the streets, they remember a man who, as their mayor during the Depression, translated his deep human sympathy into practical energy. Mr. Sullivan made the encouragement of New Zealand industry his lifelong work. He brought to it qualities of statesmanship that united people of different political faith, so that today all people mourn his passing. He also brought to his work great energy and zeal. This tireless self-sacrifice affected his health. If he had spared himself, he would have lived longer. Of Dan Sullivan, it can be truly said, he devoted his life to his country.
The 14-footers are away, sailing up Paremata Inlet. The annual regatta of the Paremata Boating Club is held at Easter, and this year Good Friday brought variable weather. The idler-longs are struggling out between the sandbanks, and the youngsters in their taurongers are coming down tide to the start. The numbers are going up, and the first of the taurongers are crossing the start line. The pickup launch sets off up the inlet, and already there's a girl in navigational trouble. This year's total of 132 boats makes a record for this regatta. In sun and shadow, the boats run before the gusty breezes. At Brady's Buoy, the traffic becomes thick as different races catch up with each other. Spinnaker's horses are set for the homeward run. Conditions are exciting, and before the end of the day, there's work for the pickup launches. For the remaining 3 days of the long weekend, brilliant weather prevails. Here, 14-footers are rounding Brown's Boy. The boats come down toward the clubhouse, and the Takapuna Twink, which also won the Cornwall Cup in Auckland, crosses the line to win its class regatta championship. Boats come thick and fast, and the judges are kept busy. The 4 days regatta is ended, and sails come down. What's this going aboard? It's just the contingent from Wanganui packing up and having a group photo before they go. Other intending visitors were kept away by lack of Easter transport, but Wanganui came down in force. Now they hit the road after a good 4 days sailing among the Wellington boats on Paremata Inlet.